is Valley News Live at 4.
Good afternoon, everyone. A recovery effort is underway for the man who jumped into the Red River in the Northern Valley. It was this time yesterday afternoon when East Grand Forks police responded to a report of an unwanted person. Officers say they talked with the man and he left, but a short time later, an East Grand Forks officer said the same man jumped into the river near the Sorley Bridge. He wasn't able to grab a hold of the buoy or life jacket that officers threw him. Dive teams were out until nearly 10 o'clock last night and have been out again searching all day today. Officials tell us they know who the man is and they'll release his name at the conclusion of the investigation. 2 people are in jail following a wild chase through the metro. Police tried to stop a pickup around 11 last night. It took off into Moorhead, then back into Fargo, leading police from both agencies on a chase. Stop sticks were used and the truck eventually got stuck in the mud on a road under construction along 21st Avenue South. The driver, Philip Murray, was arrested for reckless endangerment, among other citations. The passenger, Amy St. John, was arrested on a warrant. Hutch joins us now with a first look at your forecast. Hutch?
Stacy, thank you so much. As we head into our evening, we are expecting a couple of thunderstorms to develop, and yes, they could be strong. It's hot. And look at this, sunny. As we look off in the distance, though, straightaway center, you see some of these cumulus clouds way off in the hazy distance. Then off to the right side of the screen there, you're looking off to the east across into Minnesota. So those storms are extending down to the south. Those are really just clouds just beginning to fester up just a little bit here over the last half hour or so. Radar's picking up the clouds, but not much in them as far as rainfall goes right now. Here's the deal for tonight. Where you see the light green, we're not expecting severe storms, and in fact most of us will not see any storms at all. In the dark green areas, including close to Fargo, we maybe will have a severe storm in that area, but there could be a couple of thunderstorms. It's in the yellow area here, southeast portions of North Dakota, northeast South Dakota into Lakes Country, where we could see a few storms. Visible satellites showing those clouds we just looked at in the distance. Those are about 45 miles away from us, by the way. 90s right now. How about 94 in Grand Forks, 89 Thief River Falls, 88 in Wadena and in Oaks. That humidity is on the way back as well. Dew point's still comfortable in Fargo at 50, but the 60s are just south of us. That's what will fuel our storms both tonight and tomorrow. Here's the timing and track. Tonight, down by my kneecaps here along the South Dakota borders where we have the best chance. Grant County, Traverse and Wilkin County into Otter Tail and Wadena County will have the best chance for some evening storms tonight, Stacy. Then overnight, more storms could fester up. They too could be a little on the strong side as we go into your Friday morning. But the main event happens Friday afternoon. That's your first alert weather day. Does look like we'll have more widespread storms and all modes of severe weather will be possible. I'll have details on that, so stick around for those facts in a few.
All right, thanks so much, Hutch. The city of Detroit Lakes is warning people about swimmer's itch in the lake. The Minnesota DNR says swimmer's itch is a temporary rash caused by an allergic reaction to parasites. The city says the lake is scheduled to get treated next week. If you're concerned about any rash that develops, talk to your doctor. We're following several developing stories on the national front. Elected leaders in New York are vowing to continue the legal fight after the Supreme Court today struck down a state gun law. As Skylar Henry reports, the decision is expected to enable more people to legally carry guns on the streets of the nation's largest city.
In what's being described as a major expansion of gun rights, the Supreme Court struck down a New York law that required a person to show a special need in order to get a permit to carry a gun in public.
I think it's very important, not just for New York, but for how other gun laws are going to be evaluated as well.
In the 6-3 conservative majority opinion, Justice Clarence Thomas wrote, the 2nd and 14th Amendments protect an individual's right to carry a handgun for self-defense outside the home.
My reaction is relief. And happiness that the lawful and legal gun owner of New York State is no longer going to be persecuted by laws that have nothing to do with the safety of the people.
The High Court's ruling comes as Congress works on new gun control legislation following a string of mass shootings and a spike in gun violence across the country.
Shocking. Absolutely shocking.
New York elected officials vowed not to give up.
We do not need people entering our subways, our restaurants, our movie theaters with concealed weapons. We don't need more guns on our streets.
We cannot allow New York to become the wild, wild west.
The ruling is expected to impact similar laws in several states, including California and Massachusetts. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the Supreme Court.
President Biden said in a statement he is deeply disappointed by the ruling. In anticipation of a Roe v. Wade decision, both pro-choice and anti-abortion advocates gathered in front of the Supreme Court today. Protests come in the wake of a leaked draft opinion obtained and published by Politico in early May that indicate a majority of the Supreme Court intend to vote to overturn Roe. If the justices hold to the leaked draft opinion, the decision would break 50 years of abortion precedent and make abortion a state-level decision. Many Republican-led states have already passed legislation to restrict abortion, and several others have so-called trigger laws ready should Roe v. Wade be overturned. In contrast, other Democrat-led states have moved forward codifying abortion access into state law. We've heard stunning testimony these past 2 weeks in public hearings called by the House committee investigating the January 6th Capitol assault. As Serena Marshall explains, today the spotlight is on the former president's campaign to get the Justice Department to assist in his failed efforts to stay in power.
In its fifth and final hearing this month, the House January 6th committee laid out its findings on former President Trump's attempts to pressure the U.S. Justice Department into helping him overturn the 2020 election.
President Trump ultimately wanted the Department of Justice to say the election was, quote, corrupt and, quote, leave the rest to me and the Republican congressmen. The department's top leadership refused.
3 Justice Department officials in the Trump administration took the witness table, including former acting Attorney General Jeffrey Rosen.
At one point, he had raised the question of having a special counsel for election fraud. At a number of points, he raised requests that I meet with his campaign counsel, Mr. Giuliani.
We had concluded, based on actual investigations, actual witness interviews, actual reviews of documents, that these allegations simply had no merit.
Former acting Deputy Attorney General Richard Donahue had previously told the committee he threatened to resign if the former president replaced Rosen with another DOJ official, Jeffrey Clark.
He repeatedly said to the president that if he was put in the seat, he would conduct real investigations that would, in his view, uncover widespread fraud.
Clark's home was reportedly raided by federal agents Wednesday, and CBS News confirms federal investigators have served new subpoenas this week as it probes possible efforts to use invalid 2020 electors. Additional hearings are expected to continue next month after the July 4th recess, as committee members say they have received a deluge of new evidence.
Okay.
That includes hours of interviews with the former president and his inner circle, featured in the upcoming Discovery Plus documentary Unprecedented from British filmmaker Alex Holder.
I had one interview with President Donald Trump before January 6th and 2 interviews with him after January 6th.
Alex Holder sat for a private deposition with the committee on Thursday. Serena Marshall, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
All committee members may receive U.S. Capitol Police security details due to an uptick in threats, though Chairman Benny Thompson and 2 committee's Republican members already have security. The World Health Organization is holding an emergency meeting to decide whether to declare a global emergency for monkeypox. A decision on that is expected by tomorrow. The virus has spread to more than 40 countries now, with the global case count topping 3,000. More than 140 cases have been reported across the U.S. The Biden administration is shipping monkeypox tests to commercial labs to speed up testing.
Anybody who comes into contact with this virus is likely to get infected.
The virus spreads through close contact, and experts say many infections have been among gay and bisexual men. There are vaccines and treatments for monkeypox. Most people recover within weeks, but in rare cases, the disease can be deadly. Law enforcement is trying to determine what caused the death of a 28-year-old woman who was found in a grove of trees just east of Rochester. The body of Tia Mercedes Arleth was discovered by a man mowing tall grass in the rural area. The death is considered suspicious. The woman's mother reported her missing a little more than a week ago. The sheriff's office believes she may have been placed there 10 to 14 days ago. Deputies say the condition of her body makes it hard to determine how she died or when.
It was frustrating on the front end for us to try and identify who we had before we could start trying to look at possible motive or suspects. More frustrating, I think, for the investigators involved and definitely for the family, because it's bad enough hearing that they lost a loved one, but then to have to talk about the condition of the body with someone. Those notifications are one of the hardest things law enforcement needs to do.
Police were able to identify the woman through partial prints. The BCA is helping with the investigation. Today's the first day for local families to get an appointment at Essentia to get their young children vaccinated against COVID-19. Appointments are required for kids ages 6 months to 4 years old. They can be made with your child's primary care provider. You can start making appointments with Sanford Health tomorrow. The initial 2 doses are administered 3 weeks apart, followed then by a third dose given at least 8 weeks later. After a recent bridge inspection, load restrictions are now in place on a Cass County bridge west of Prosper, North Dakota. That's about 6 miles north of Mapleton. The limit is now 19 tons to cross the bridge on County Road 22 on the upper branch of the Rush River between County Road 11 and the town of Prosper. Vehicles weighing more than 19 tons will need to find alternate routes. The Highway Department is looking into options to replace the bridge. North Dakota's deer gun lottery is over. More than 5,500 deer gun licenses remain. If you were unsuccessful in the lottery, you can apply for one of those remaining licenses. More than 71,000 people applied for a license. The 2022 deer gun proclamation allows for 64,200 licenses. Unsuccessful applicants can apply online for those remaining licenses beginning next week on June 29th. The deadline is July 13th. Lend a Hand Up is more than halfway through its Summer Boost campaign. They're encouraging you to help local families in need. The first 100 donors will get a $10 gift card to Star Fireworks. 100% of proceeds given to Lend a Hand Up go to help lighten the load of local families facing a medical crisis. If you'd like to help, you can donate to the Summer Boost campaign through June 30th. We have a link on our VNL News app. North Dakota Today is taking a road trip. Tune in tomorrow morning for North Dakota Today live from Medora and see what the Badlands have to offer for your next getaway. Our team is trying out the notorious Pitchfork Fondue, Medora Musical, exploring all the sights and talking to local businesses. You can watch North Dakota Today at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning on KVLY. Later here on Valley News Live at 4, details on a big interest rate hike that could change how families pay for college.
And right now, a view in Grand Forks from our Home of Economy location showing clear skies. You're one of the hotter areas right now. The pool cast for tonight. Hopefully you have a pool or a sprinkler or some cold water to run through. 90s this evening. Unchilly indeed. Distant storms to the south will be possible. Check out heat indices as we go through your Friday. Sizzling hot and a better storm chance. Details are straight ahead.